And we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from a bunker underneath a cornfield somewhere in central Illinois. It's Weird Frequencies, ladies and gentlemen. And with talent on loan from Satan himself, I'm Rob Hansen. and this is Tyler. And this
Good
is
evening.
April.
Hi.
The lovely April. And this is producer Kluge. And we are Weird Frequencies. We got more members joining us later. When we got a lot of stuff to talk about right away, let's, well, tonight we're going to cover a couple things. We're definitely going to cover the ghost hunt last night and talk some ghostly stuff, which April loves. That's her favorite subject. So that's what she knows a lot about. And also, I want to talk a little maybe about the, the big catastrophic Titanic catastrophe out in the ocean and the some of the conspiracies even surrounding that. Hi, Jennifer and Gail. What's up? Welcome to the show. I got my grandbaby crying back there. What's up, Bubba? Bubba, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. Then what else? A couple other things. Anything anybody in the chat room wants to talk about tonight? I want to save a little time maybe towards the end. Anything, any subject matter anybody throws up in the chat. We'll talk about that and see what everybody's feelings are about it. And maybe, if you got something you think we need to cover, we'll do that. And what else did I put in the post that we were going to talk about? I put a whole damn list of stuff, but anyway, let's talk ghosts. So last night, so Tyler's been planning this ghost hunt for a long time, and it was going to be somewhere else, and then they moved it closer to Springfield. So last night I saw, I looked at a map and saw it was only like 40 minutes away. So
yesterday, Rob himself popped out last night.
Yeah, so I was like, I gotta, see, and I read about. It's the Witch's Bridge, right? And what city is that we said it's by?
Clarksdale, Illinois. Yeah,
right by Clarksdale, Illinois. And we, I read about it. At first I was like, well, yeah, I don't know, but then I read about it and the history of the place, and it just got scarier and scarier. That area, the things that happened there are just wild. Like, we can tell them about some of the history of that place.
All right, so some of the history that regards to the Witch's Bridge, we've had listeners like Julie, Malik, and Adam, and even EZ have been telling us for years, dude, you got to find this Cemetery X. It's next to a bridge out by Taylorville. We had no idea. And we were originally planning to do Havana Gym in Havana, Illinois. That was going to be our next hunt, and that was also going to be a Wrestling for a Cure thing. We happened to find the location of the bridge pretty easily, just basically off Google Maps, really. The history behind it, it's got a lot of dark history. First of all, there is a lady who supposedly, according to legend, drowned her children on the bank of, hey, Julie, of this bridge, of this river that runs underneath the bridge. Yeah, Virgil, I think you could ask a question. There is also a father who supposedly hung himself. This was the father of the family. The woman was never found. The dog was also killed. A witch was hung out there. There are reports of there were reports of UFOs and Bigfoot, which I don't know. I think we might have had something Bigfoot related last night, but I don't want to jump into it. And Rob was there for when we had it, and it was a smell. It was this horrible rotting smell that would just come and go.
That was
Um,
weird. Yeah, we when we were leaving and we were wrapping it up, we all of a sudden this smell like it was like a skunky kind of a death
yeah.
smell, but not like a corpse though.
No,
It was
no.
different. It was like a rotting, strange smell. I don't know, but I just got a whiff of it. But uh, you and I took my son out there with me because, for one thing, he's 19 and he's 6 foot, and I was no way in hell I was going out to that place by myself. I know that. So yeah, he went out and he loves Ghost Adventurers. He's seen like every single one episode, and he just loves that stuff anyway. So he had a great time seeing all your instruments and everything, and because these guys are legit ghost hunters. I mean, they have the voice boxes, the little the meters that and for like Tyler's like McCoy on Star Trek with the tricorder going
Yeah.
measuring
EMF
everything.
detector. It does kind of look like the tricorder off Star Trek, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, but they ran off into the woods, after the smell, and Tyler kept saying, "It's right here. It's right here. We must be close to like this dead body or a dead animal or something," is what we were thinking, So they were, him and my son, traipsed right off into the woods, and I was like, well, "All right, that's far enough, Evan. You're good."
I'm never gonna see these two again.
I literally told Evan to stay back because, like, if something comes charging out of the woods, whether it's a Sasquatch or something,
Tyler
I
kept
want him to
going.
get out at least.
Then all of a sudden, the smell was gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Like Tyler was like, "I'm right by it. It's right here."
I
Okay,
was
now
sta-
it's gone.
I was
It was
standing
literally like
right
that.
where it was originally, and you could smell it was strong, like really pungent. And then it went away, and then Evan, Rob's son, even said it went away because he was like maybe a
Yeah.
couple feet behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just like the weirdest thing. I don't know what it was.
I'm the one who afterwards suggested, oh well, maybe it was a Sasquatch because of, the smell stories you always hear. But it was
Right.
weird the way it was right by him, and then it was gone all of a sudden. So
And we've been smelling this smell like on and off all night. So, but we
but
heard.
before that, you guys
Yeah,
saw
but-
lots of stuff.
Yeah, we saw lots of stuff. Susan, my fiance, and one of our investigators, Tina, claimed they saw a woman in white walking across the bridge on the backside
Oh yeah.
up towards that cemetery. All of them kept dying. And the weirdest thing is that one of our cameras, we had just changed the battery on it. The battery said brand new, fully charged. The EMF detector said 46.7. That's the highest I've ever seen that thing register. And as soon as it hits that, boom, that camera goes down. And that was a brand new battery.
So
Yeah, that's
did
weird
that
as soon as
happen
you get
before
there.
you guys smelt that smell?
This actually all happened before we smelled the smell. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the weirdest. We've got to go back for sure. We've got to go back.
What about the dancing children on the water or something?
Susan kept seeing they saw people. She saw a glimpse of people in the water. Let's see. Tina said she saw it too. We had a dog, like a phantom dog, that we kept hearing about. And one of the reports is there's like a ghost dog or a zombie dog on this bridge. And while we were walking away, we kept hearing this dog barking, like drawing us away from the bridge, from the car. And right before we turned around to head back to the car, we saw the eyes of something in the woods, yellow, and we had spotlights on it and everything, so we should have seen it really well. Nothing. All we saw was the yellow eyes, and it was just gone.
Hi, April.
So
Hi.
I don't know.
Well, there's two Aprils.
Oh,
That's
she's
me.
Okay. All right. Got you.
I don't know all I know is once the footage is reviewed and everything, we're going to debut it live here on Weird Frequencies. David's working on it currently. So I'm interested to see if we caught anything EVP related. We got a lot of things on the spirit box that came through. I've listened to some of it and I'm like, that kind of sounds a little fishy. That sounds like, what the hell is that?
So, speaking of EVPs, real quick, Ted, one of our hosts and members of the cast said that Ted is a music producer and audio expert, for the most part, and engineer, and he was hired by a ghost hunting company who I'm just gonna leave their name out of it right now, but he was hired by a ghost not hunting company, but what are they, like a
Paranormal
team?
Society.
Paranormal Society, there you go.
Yeah.
And he was hired by him to do some enhancements on some EVPs, and he said he heard some really scary, some interesting stuff. And so we're going to try to get those on the show too, but we want to get permission and everything, before we do that. So,
Right.
But yeah, hopefully we'll be having that on the show. That'll be fun too.
That'd be awesome.
Ted was just like, it'll make everyone just go, whoa. So, so that sounds good. Yeah, so we had fun. Overall, I mean, for me and my son Evan, we came out there after a lot of stuff had really happened, and I think we missed kind of a wave of activity, maybe, in a way. We got there late, and but then when we showed up, my son, he said he felt when we hit the bridge that he felt a little wave of disorientation and kind of dizziness. And you also were catching some electromagnetic activity on the bridge, right?
Right. So we have an EMF detector, and literally how Rob described it earlier, it looks just like the tricorder off Star Trek for the old 60s show. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while, what it does is it registers electromagnetic fields in the air. Now, electromagnetic fields can also be disorienting to the human body. They can cause things like paranoia, anxiety. Massive illusions can happen to high enough EMF frequencies. But it also helps us capture ghosts. Now, there's no power anywhere on this bridge. There's no power. And Rob even suggested, because there was lightning in the area, well, maybe the reason your EMF reader is going off is because of all the heat lightning and all that stuff running through the bridge itself. And I checked it. None of that ever happened. But we would get occasionally like an 8.8. A set was the highest we'd get randomly outside of the camera shutting down. We'd get a 7.2, and then it was just as quickly as it came, it was just gone. So I don't know. It was like something kept walking, like some electro field kept walking past us, or we were walking past it. I don't know. It was just
definitely got to go back out there on
I'm definitely
good
going
weather
back.
night just to kind of debunk that,
Yeah,
but
I'm definitely going out there.
Electricity in the air.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this because I'm noticing Amanda Kluge's comment. Amanda Kluge, let's see, Julie Mollett, and EZ, all three, and I think a few others have suggested this spot. Now that we found it in the graveyard, yes, we want to go back.
I mean, I'll tell you what, just the bridge is scary enough, and the idea of, haunted bridges is always scary, and, you get out there and that's there. And then all of a sudden, yeah, that's right by these two cemeteries too.
Yeah, it was.
Like, if that wasn't enough, okay, where all that witch activity happened and the suicides and stuff. There's a couple cemeteries too. Let's throw in.
Right. So we had a family that was driving by. They stopped and they wanted to tell us a few things. The cemetery that you drove past, Rob.
How would you like to live out there? That'd be.
I'd love that.
Energy out there would be wild.
Yeah. The cemetery up the road, they say nothing happens there. It's as dead as a cemetery, basically. Nothing in there. Yeah. The one that we walked up to, which is Anderson Cemetery, that's the one everyone says is the most active. And we walked up there. We didn't really go inside, but I know Rob had said he'd heard a dog barking. There are a couple farms nearby, but this sounded close because I know a lot of people said they heard dogs barking that night. It's Anderson itself is going to be an investigation on its own because there's two cemeteries in Anderson. There's actually the old Anderson Cemetery and the one that sits out front, the one that we saw. And the one in the back, they say you have to really traverse through the back. You got to go through the field to get to it. But I'm willing to give it a try. I'm willing to go try that one. They claim there's like a hellhound that haunts that area, or a hound of hell, or something like that. I'd want to give it a shot. I'd still want to give it a shot, because that's gonna be legitimately like an investigation on its own.
Mike said he'd run into the woods if he smelled like Tyler.
Well, Mike just needs to shut up.
That's hilarious. So it was fun, man. I mean, me, I did not see anything unusual. I mean, I also took some footage on my phone and took pictures and didn't see anything unusual in any of that. Evan went through the footage on my phone too, and the pictures. We were hoping we'd find something. There was one picture with a weird, you can't really tell what it is. So, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just looks like it could be cigarette smoke, or it could be anything really.
The only smokers out there were me and you.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see. I'm going to show you the picture.
Let's see. Be interested to see what this picture looks like. Oh, there's a smoker. Yeah, she's proud of it.
Well, I got the effect going on here, so
you might need to forward it to either me or producer Kluge. See if maybe one of us can pull it up on screen. Because I know that sometimes when you take photos, you'll catch something whether you realize it or not. It's just really hard to make out sometimes.
We'll get to it, Virgil. I seen it. We'll get to it. We're just talking ghosts right now.
Let's see. What's Virgil asking about?
So while you guys are doing that, I'll scroll up. There we go.
I read that. Yeah, read that.
Some believe the fairies to be spirits of the dead, while some believe them to be fallen angels. Though the exact provenance of fairies is unknown, the idea of fairy is very dear to English folklore. Since centuries, fairies have been painting the imagination of children and adults alike with their benevolence, notoriety, and magical powers. Fairies is one of those things, like, I don't know.
Well, those lights on the water, this is kind of what he's describing. That could be what people are seeing out there. Hi, Casey. Welcome to the show and the discussion. The fairies could be the lights that people are seeing of the children out there, possibly, over on the water. Fairies are interesting. I like fairies. They're awesome. My favorite fairy was Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell?
She was a bad fairy, really. She was a mean. She was actually. She was an evil
very
fairy.
She was very on par for how fairies are.
She wanted to hurt Wendy, though. See,
fairy. So I have.
She wanted to hurt Wendy. Okay, so then. I mean, and a good fairy would never hurt a human, and so I mean.
Are we talking Disney or are we talking real?
No, just real, or like D&D rules, right? D&D rules, maybe. Right? A good fairy, evil fairy, neutral or whatever. She was maybe a neutral fairy, but she was definitely not a good fairy.
Well,
she made evil plots to hurt Wendy because she loved Peter and she was jealous and spiteful. So I don't know.
We attribute human morals to supernatural races and beings that don't even apply.
Maybe, that's true. She's a cartoon, and also,
that's true. But the whole mean thing is definitely kind of on par, even for the good side.
Tommy, my favorite fairy tale was Jim the Photographer. The ghost of Jimmy just ran through. His ghost's everywhere. It hangs around. Somebody I was just talking to the other day said that we ought to have a Jim the Photographer.
My ass is really sore.
Once a year. Wow, that's weird. I don't want to hear Jimmy's voice like that.
Hi,
Uh,
Roy.
Oh.
We've been on for about 20 minutes. Thanks for joining us.
I'm just
So-
kidding. I
Cheers.
love Jimmy. No,
Cheers with your friends,
he
guys.
Ray ought to do some kind of a gathering, though, a celebration every once a year where people could get together physically, not just on the internet, and like at a bar or something, so everybody could talk about him. There's a lot of people that love that man, but that's what I got to say about that. But anyway, if he doesn't do it, we could, I guess, if we could put something together. But he should be in charge. But he was Jimmy's best friend.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, tonight we're going to talk about also the Titanic submersible accident, the Mandela effect, a little we might touch on, and
Ooh,
glitches
I
in the
do love
Matrix,
a good
and the
Mandela.
recent some more about that the UFO whistleblower guy, and we'll talk about why I'm going. He's a whistleblower here in a second. I mean, whenever we talk about allegedly a whistleblower,
I think he's
works for
legit.
the government.
No, well, he could be a disinformation agent. I don't know.
He's hired by the government to say what he's saying, I think. But anyway,
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah, we'll get to that. But anything else about ghosts, April or Tyler, before we move on?
Were you going to share that photo you caught last night?
I was trying to. Damn it! I mean,
So Casey, like I swear kids are great conduits for ghosts and spirits. They have a whole lot of energy. It attracts them, and they've always got toys with batteries in them. So what's the best way to talk? Like, so we went to Waverly Hills, and my
I'm still
husband.
jealous of you for that.
Listen, let me tell y'all the bad thing. I fell asleep. In the sanitarium. So I might be possessed. We don't know yet. We're still figuring that out.
great.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
But
I just posted it on my news feed.
My husband's
Didn't
cousin
mean to do that.
has a little toy that they use to communicate. So yeah. I know there were some times where my kids' toys would fucking make sounds when they weren't around. In the house that I'm gonna eventually let Tyler come ghost hunt in.
Yes, April apparently owns a haunted house.
I own a very haunted house.
Dang, really?
Up in Decatur.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna try and get up there at some point, hopefully.
Wow.
So,
and maybe the girls saw some fairies last night, possibly.
I don't know. Maybe we don't really know what the definition of a fairy would be. Maybe a fairy is like an angel that takes spirits to the afterlife. We don't know.
Have you ever seen the guy with the videos in Ireland of fairies? That he's capturing.
Oh,
around his farm and stuff, and it's totally fake. None of it's real, but they're awesome videos. You seen the guy? You know who I'm talking about? And he
his CGI effect is really cool. I mean,
yeah, it's super super good. But he, those aren't real. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, I want to point something out real quick. Well, actually, it's Tommy's comment, but we can talk about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, I have seen that. My grandmother was on hospice for ovarian cancer, and 2 days before she died, she was having full conversations when she was supposed to be asleep with her mother, her father, my grandfather. And 2 days later, I felt a breeze go through the apartment with all the windows shut, and I knew she was dead. So I don't know if that's something or what, but that I have seen that before, Tommy. I've seen that with my grandmother. And that was like 2 days prior to her passing. So,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Weird things happen around when people pass, in the room, and they've filmed spirits flying up out of bodies, and I think we're getting closer to maybe finding out the answers. Maybe.
Well, two great questions in human history is: one, are we alone in the universe? And two, is there life after death?
Well, they might be connected too, which is why, we got to think about, why the government doesn't want us to know the truth about UFOs and stuff. And it's because we'll all be enlightened and we'll all have Free energy. Hello. We'll all be able to travel across the universe in a blink of an eye somehow. You know, there's all these things that we should be working on together and have been talking about and doing for the past however long since they came when Roswell or whatever and dropped this knowledge on us, and they've just been lying to us ever since. The whole that's about the deal. They're just lying to us, and we're about sucking it all up. And they have this technology, but it's because we'll be enlightened and we'll have free energy. It's not as much about keeping, I don't think, America safe as it is keeping the big money safe.
Well,
There's, free energy. Think about what that means. If aliens are real, this is big news for the whole world. Everything. Religion might not be real. Where we came from might not be real. The history of the planet might not be real. There's all kinds of things that will be affected by this.
Well, did you hear the latest rumor going around that if aliens do make contact, they're saying that if aliens make contact, they're not going to make contact with humanity. They're going to contact AI, apparently. There's a Harvard professor, Avi Loeb.
That's funny.
They made a breakthrough discovery
the real
that
leaders.
AI could be the ones to make contact with the extraterrestrials. So, due to a potential feeling of kinship, we don't need that.
I do think that, like I said, that we'll know when aliens decide to make contact. We'll know. It's going to be perfect video. It's going to be the best resolution you've ever seen, and they're going to be right there in our faces, going, "Hi, I'm Mr. Alien, and here I am, perfect resolution."
Well, let me ask you a question. If you were an extraterrestrial and you wanted to reveal yourself to a population, where would you go? Would you go to their government, or would you just land like right in the middle of some city like New York or
I wouldn't land in the backyard in Las Vegas and get some blurry video shot of me. That's for sure.
I don't know. What? You mean the one that obviously looks like it's CGI?
Yeah, the Vegas one. Well, there may be a way for them to, aliens might be traveling here. Other people might be traveling here by, think about this. They could pretty simply, we just came up with computers here that can do calculations in a second that used to take like 12 years. Literally a computer would take 12 years. Now it takes like 1 second or something similar, right? So just think about other people who have more advanced technology than we do, and the calculations they could do. And what they did was, what's possible is they just are sending out sections at a time throughout the universe, almost like pods, and all the pods connect to each other. And, they're just kind of reaching here and going past here, and they're just kind of travelers, and we're just seeing them kind of go by. That's a possibility. They're not really here to necessarily visit us or even interact with us. They're just kind of travelers, and we're just, they're reaching out across the universe. Look who's here. It's Dr. Sage. Welcome, Doctor.
There's the man you want for your Illuminati topic.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
And ladies.
What?
So, for anyone that doesn't know Dr. Sage down here, Mr. Sage, can I give him your street name or your other names? Or
Give him whatever you want.
This is Sage Ramsey. He's a wrestling legend and champion, and
a Norse god.
Norse god, apparently, and also told me that he's has a big interest in all things New World Order and Illuminati and things like that, and like me and like Ted, and we're going to talk definitely some Illuminati stuff later, and or even now. I mean, kind of the next thing that we really wanted to talk about was the big accident this week. And did we answer everybody in the chat room before we move on to the submarine?
I think we are, yes.
I think so.
I don't want to ignore anyone this week. And I like how Virgil, dude, you sound like an amazing person at the very least. You're into astrophysics, which is super cool, dude. So am I. The block universe theory is amazing. About your past and your future going on at the same time. You know,
Yeah, I've never heard about this.
I've been living life lately trying not to worry about the future and not to worry about the past, but worrying about the now, because you can't really affect the future or the past. So it's the now. I've seen cartoon characters say this before in like Disney cartoons, similar things, and I'm like, God damn, that little fucking cartoon character's right. Yeah,
Virgil, I don't
live in the now.
Virgil, I don't think you need to apologize for your questions being too long.
Nope.
We're
No,
fine with it.
not
we like
We
it.
welcome it.
we love it. And wait till
I just read that question. That thing was intense.
right.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was,
they asked-
wasn't it?
They asked
It's kind of like
earlier.
sex camping.
Virgil, you'll like Ted Keelan a lot too. Hopefully, he gets in the show towards the end tonight.
Read that one,
Talk some
Sage.
interesting-
They
Yeah,
asked
that
us
was a good
too.
one too.
So, everyone who's lost everyone, in the chat room and ghosts and have appeared, and I believe all of those stories because, man, that's when it happens, for sure. My mom has told me some amazing stories about when people, died in our family and, things like that. And there's some serious truths to when people die in ghosts. For sure, things happen. So, okay, the big submarine out at the Titanic site. That's in the news this week. We wanted to talk about that. There's just tons of conspiracies about what happened out there, and everyone knows that these
Hi,
5,
Tina.
6 billionaire, trillionaire type guys went down in a pretty much experimental sub, and the guy who built it was in there with them, and he kind of thrived on throwing out safety regulations out the window to build everything.
Uh-huh.
Kind of sort
Hey,
of.
if that thing would have been yellow, they would have all lived.
Yeah. Maybe. But it
Hey,
sunk
the
on the
song
way
goes,
down.
"We all
and,
live in a yellow submarine."
Yeah.
right. Well,
They-
that's terrible.
no one lives
no.
on the little submarine.
Yeah. I don't really want to get in trouble about making jokes about it, but which can
Yeah,
happen
don't get
super
us
fast,
canceled.
and so I'm not making any jokes about it personally. But good luck with those jokes, boys. I'm not saying it's
We'll
I'm
say-
just
we'll say
not
it
on
for-
that team with you. I'm over here. Look,
We'll save it for our podcast. Yeah, we'll save it for our podcast. So
Yeah.
we don't get this one canceled.
Yeah, I'm not trying to joke, but I mean,
no,
figure
that was too
out
easy.
I'm
the
just playing.
jokes.
Well, some
Yeah.
of the conspiracies apparently are like the fact that they blew up on the way down, and this thing dropped. They knew right away. They heard the explosion. It lasts, but yet they didn't. They told everyone, and they made it last so long. Like days and days, and maybe they're still alive, maybe they're not. When they knew damn well that they lost communication right away with them, and they heard this super loud explosion, on the way down, they knew they were dead. Anyone with a brain in that business knew they were dead. But instead they made this big, long, drawn out, thing about it. So people were like, oh, well, they're distracting us, of course. That's the thing everyone says about everything,
They've got
though.
40 hours of air left.
They're just
Like that.
distracting us from this other issue, which would be, in this case, Biden's, and the laptop situation, and his son, admitting to the crimes and then not really getting in trouble for the laptop. And they're just kind of throwing that all out the window. And,
Yeah, they ended up. He got a plea deal, and that wasn't in the news for shit.
yeah, well,
So it was like
if you got, if your dad's vice
he's
president,
going to get a slap on the hand and get away with that.
Yeah, now there's some Illuminati stuff there. Yeah, I saw that, Bubba. So who knows who Josh Gates is? Josh Gates is probably one of my favorite explorers and all that stuff. He's like a real life Indiana Jones. He does.
I know Josh Gates, yeah.
He's got the TV show. Yeah, super.
Yeah,
cool dude.
Expedition Unknown.
Wild, like a real life Indiana Jones. Really.
Yeah,
Let's face
he
it.
declined. He was originally supposed to go on this Titan submarine back months ago. He said he wasn't going on it because as soon as he got out there, he said they were having problems with it. The owner said, he was talking to the owner, the guy who was controlling it. The guy, explained everything to him. Josh eventually said, "No, I'm not getting on here. I'm not doing this. No, there's no safety. There's a safety issue with this thing. Nothing. I'm not doing this."
And yeah, from what they were saying, the thing actually imploded on itself.
It
Well, what a
imploded
horrible
on
way to
itself. They haven't figured out what
about
caused it. But
They fucked around and found out what is down that far in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get when you want to be a rich playboy, and go do new stuff.
And the thing is that thing wasn't designed to go that far down into the ocean. I mean, the Titanic was what, 2,500 feet down?
Ted
right.
was telling me that every time they went down in that thing and brought it back up, that the inspector would take off 1,000 feet. Like, now you can only go down like 2,000 in this, and then it go down again and come back up, and then he'd be like, "No, you can only go like 1,000 in this," and it kept leaking, and they still went. So, phone screener Tommy said the Navy heard the implosion, and Hunter is Chinese facial. Yeah, we're not gonna say that. Yeah, but
Well, it's Tommy.
yeah. Love
Damn,
Tommy.
Tommy.
Who thought trying to seal titanium to carbon fiber? Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, the whole process I don't know a lot about, but man.
And you know what? They have Titanic exhibits all around the world.
Right.
I know there's one in Branson, Missouri. There's one in Kentucky or Tennessee. One or the other. I think it's in Tennessee, actually. Mm-hmm. You want the experience? Go to those. They're a lot cheaper.
It is so deep where that ship is. I mean, it's like
This guy,
3 or
this
5
comment
Eiffel Towers deep, or it's insane. I mean, it's bigger.
That is true. He is right. The Titan has made several trips to the Titanic. Now,
Bigfoot Joe.
I'm not sure I don't think they've even revealed what they think failed on it or what, but I did watch a video.
The whole thing failed.
This thing was supposed to have like 7 safety measures in case something happened to where the boat.
Said they were like drilling, even the panel as they were going down, saying, "No, don't worry about that. It's fine." I'm trying to put some part back on. Or
carbon fiber is a great liner, not so much as a pressure vessel. I think it did have carbon fiber in it.
I read that it had carbon fiber.
That's what made it incredible. That guy, he was a pioneer, and he broke rules, and that's how he did his thing, but is by breaking rules. But he took these lives with him, and the life of that kid, 19.
Do you see what the steering controls is for this submarine?
Well, supposedly, yeah.
It's not an Xbox controller. That's an
Xbox
controller.
It was a Logitech controller, which you get those from Dollar General for like $25, and you're.
I mean, is that true, or is that an internet?
Yeah, it was a Logitech controller.
No, it was a Logitech controller.
And here's the funny part: in one of the photos that shows the wreck, the controller is still in one piece. How in the hell?
Well, they had like 5 controllers on there because he had backup controllers.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and
one of them could have survived.
I like being standing on some good solid ground, like my 2 feet standing on land. Humans weren't meant to be at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going down there. I'm not going on even a boat, really. I'm not going on a ship. I'm not going out on no big old like yacht or nothing. We go out on them yachts, and all of a sudden, a big wave comes along and goes, "Foop," and like a whole thing.
No, don't.
Man. Everyone.
I'm gonna get out on a party barge and be on a lake.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about that.
No, because there's equipment that can go to the bottom of the fucking lake.
Then 10 fat guys get on this one side of the party barge, and before you know it, boom, everybody's
I have a
party barge is a pontoon.
Oh, now Tommy hit something I had heard as well.
It sounds fun, though. Don't get me wrong.
This was off-the-shelf parts from Camping World. They did admit in one of the videos that a lot of the parts they built were custom-made parts from Camping World, from Shields, all that. you're gonna take that down to the bottom of the ocean.
What are you smoking on
How,
over there,
they
April?
have how much money, and they're going to a major retail store?
They're charging
Stuff to
2,500,
scams.
250K a person to go down the Titanic.
April.
And that's what's made of.
Dumb ways to die.
Ways to die.
April, what are you smoking on over there?
Black cherry gelato, and it kicked Tyler's ass. If you go watch the Last Damn podcast on
Nice.
Friday.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
how's
all
your
right.
back, Ty?
We'll have that segment every
Hurts.
weird frequencies every week. What's April smoking on?
Dude, Sage took a
That's-
kendo stick to my
that's
back.
important, we need.
It is.
Oh, nice.
hurting.
Very cool. Don't be plugging them because I work in the industry too, right? Ox bars.
Oh, there
Just
you
good.
go.
Don't be plugging where you bought that at. They're gonna need to pay. I'm just kidding. You can plug them if you want to. I'm joking. So
Oh, thank you, Virgil. I added you too.
yeah, Virgil, you sound like an interesting person to add to
Yeah.
the show as a listener. So we're glad you're here. So well, yeah, that's pretty wild, but I think it's just some 5, 6, just rich guys just acting like they can just do whatever they want, and
See,
man,
I'm all for
You're
going
so-
down. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go
I know
ahead.
you're all for going down.
Going down on what, buddy?
I'm all for going down on the Titanic, but no, I'm not going down. We've learned
That's
enough.
weird. That's what I named my.
Oh,
I was about to say the same goddamn joke.
You just stepped right into that one.
yeah. Well, do you want to see what I think? Do you want to see what I think sunk the Titanic sub?
What?
This is
Oh,
why
God.
I think sunk the Titanic sub.
It's that picture.
That's what I think happened.
Yes, Godzilla got a little randy.
No, you know what? I'm going to end this subject with something that Ted said. That what sunk the Titanic is the same thing that sunk this boat, the submarine, and it's was the captain of the Titanic. Kept going through that fucking water after they warned him. They told him, dude, there's giant icebergs up ahead. Stop. And he went ahead and plowed his way through that thing and completely ignored what they told him. And he killed everybody on that boat basically by doing that. And this dude here, is doing the same thing by he ignored the warnings. He ignored, everything that could go wrong, and now he's killed these 6 people, man.
You know what? That's a
It's
really
his fault.
good. That's a really good analogy for what happened. It's very point on.
Isn't
It's
that
very-
wild if you think about the
But at
history
the
of that
same
place?
time, there's even more things that came out whenever some guy wrote a book about the Titanic, and he pointed out some good facts that it wasn't even the Titanic that actually wrecked. It was the Olympic that actually wrecked.
So
What do
then,
you
where's the? Okay, he's going on about the theory that the ship that sank in the Atlantic, the Titanic, was not actually the Titanic; it was the Olympic.
It was the sister ship, the
And that
Atlantic,
the real
the Olympic.
the real Titanic sank in what, like World War I or
What?
something like that? Yeah, it's been a theory for a while. They swapped the names, is what they
They
say.
swapped the names, and the thing is that like whenever they pulled up some of the wreckage from the Titanic, the propellers had the name Olympic on the propellers.
Well, didn't they build one and it never launched, and then the second one
Well,
actually launched or something?
The Olympic,
The Olympic was the first ship to be built. So
Yes.
they officially became known as Olympic class steam cruisers. So it could be just because it's of the same class why it would have that on the propeller.
Interesting.
and it could be, but
Well, they swapped it.
or they did swap the ship because
be
there was
damned, that's
issues
interesting.
with the actual Titanic because the Titanic where the side of the Titanic that actually hit the iceberg, they just had a massive fire in there like a week before because one of the coal chambers caught on fire.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, that would have weakened the side of the ship also.
Tommy's got grapefruit Kush. Just throwing that out there, April.
I don't know. I don't know about that because if you think about it, okay, it was the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Atlantic. Those were the three sister ships. They were based off
the Britannic.
The Britannic, yeah. They were based off the Lusitania's design. They just made it bigger. The problem was, it's like, okay, with those four ships, if they were renamed before launch, then I could understand that. But from what people are saying, that it wasn't, they got it all confused. It was actually the Atlantic that went down, not the Titanic. But I don't see it that way, because why would
And
they
not only that, but like there was other people that was supposed to be on that ship that chose last minute not to get on that ship, like main bankers, J.P. Morgan and shit like that.
Now, I did hear that. I did hear J.P. Morgan bailed last minute.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They chose not to board the ship because they knew that ship was going down.
I don't know. It's so far fetched. I don't see them changing the
It's
name
not
on
that far fetched if you think about the government.
I mean,
Okay.
was it the Illuminati back then?
Yes,
The Illuminati's always been there.
See?
Okay, so
the
what were they-
Illuminati's been around since the 15th century.
I mean, it created money. So
There's Tommy's comment.
The Olympic wasn't an accident. It was repaired from the parts of the Titanic. The Gigantic was so there was 5: the Olympic, the Titanic, the Atlantic, and the Gigantic. And then what was the other one? The Britannic.
Britannica.
now, isn't there a new guy who's rebuilding the Titanic?
There's a
Even
there's a
bigger?
Titanic 2, but it's based upon current day cruise ships, so it's going to be like 10 times larger than the original Titanic.
So 10
Wow.
times the people will die if it meets a similar fate.
Well, let's hope that that's not going to happen. Let's
Who
hope
would
not.
even get on it? Like, I'm too superstitious. Nope.
I'm good.
Fuck you. You are tempting.
I'm
Whatever.
staying on land with April. We'll be like, bye.
I'll just go ghost hunt. Thank you very much. I'd rather ghost hunt or search for
Leave all your
aliens.
stuff to me in the will. Bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was only 3 sister ships. The others were
Oh,
different.
I get all your
Okay.
GoBots.
You ain't getting my Transformers or GoBots. Shut up. I'm not going on a cruise ship.
Why didn't you say the car, Sage?
I'm already getting the car.
Oh, he ain't getting
Okay.
the car.
I'm
So,
getting the car.
All right. So maybe we could touch a little bit on this whistleblower guy. And and
Oh,
also-
Edward Snowden? Sweet.
No,
the UFO guy.
the new supposed whistleblower. But first, I wanted to read you guys. There's Eric Watterson's in the chat room. He's a friend of mine, and I think he still lives in Arizona. And we grew up together in California. And we used to do acid together and roller skate and stuff like that. But anyway, I wanted to read you the UFO story that he told me. Let's see. Hold on now. I lived in Sitka, Alaska, a southeastern Alaskan island. Me and a buddy of mine were cruising around on skiff fishing here for most of the day. Anyway, I looked towards the shore of Mount Edgecombe, a volcanic island, and it was between 5 to 8 miles away. And right off the beach, hovering about 30 to 50 feet above the breaking waves, was a cigar-shaped white and black UFO about the length of a football field. I looked at it for a few seconds, and then I looked back. My buddy, he saw it too, looking back towards each other for a few seconds. We looked at each other in amazement, and in a split second, it disappeared. There you go. So Eric in the chat room saw a football-shaped, football-sized UFO in the sky.
Another one. I'm sorry, not about that. I'm talking about what Tommy just posted. There's been apparently another train derailment. This time this was close to Yellowstone, and it has hazardous chemicals. It's in Montana.
I saw that. Yeah, that's terrible. Right around Yellowstone. That's all we need.
Remember a year ago we were talking about all the restaurants and the food processing plants and the farms catching fire? Well, now we have this. What?
These
Yellowstone's a tricky
derailments
place.
are not a coincidence.
Yeah.
They're too frequent now.
Yeah.
Yellowstone's a
This is
tricky
like
place.
the 7th one.
Look
That
what
place
Corey
is like a
said.
bomb that could just blow up anytime. Apparently, there's some big giant volcano under there. Do you know that? It's like right there in the middle of
Oh, the
America.
caldera. Yeah, that if that
Yeah.
thing
I don't
blew, it
know
would be
what it is, but
damaging to most of North and
like
South
it could like
America.
blow up and
Corey
some
said
crazy stuff could happen.
almost like our waterways are being targeted.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit, Corey.
That's pretty wild. Yeah. Keep it. Well, that's what this show's for, is to keep an eye on stuff like that. We're the public. We can raise awareness of things like that and call the right people and interview them and things like that. And hey, what's going on with this rail system? Or whatever we have to do. That's what's cool about this show. We can make connections pretty quick with people. If we see something in the news, we're gonna call them. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to get them on the phone and get them in here. That's how else are we gonna answer things if we don't talk to people?
Virgil.
So, yeah, that's pretty wild, Erica. Eric, my UFO story, I'll tell you real quick. I was in my backyard and was in my house. My daughter came in and said, "Hey, Dad, there's some UFOs. There's something flying around in the backyard." And I kind of ignored her. And then I got up again and I said, she came back again and she said, "Hey, Dad, seriously, there's like orange triangles in the sky and they're scaring me." And I was like, "Oh shit." So I got up, went outside, and in the sky was seriously a fleet of of UFOs, right? Above, flying over Lanphier High School, were triangle shaped ships, and they had orange lights on the corners of them, of all of them, and they were just spinning in the sky like this, and they would move this way and that way and up and down. They weren't planes or helicopters. They were moving real weird. And then they all just kind of went into a portal and disappeared. Yeah, no shit. They just kind of looked like they all kind of flew into an invisible curtain and then disappeared in the invisible curtain in the sky. That's the best way I could describe it.
And then
What the hell were you smoking that night?
Rob has
Nothing.
pictures, I think. Isn't
I
this the
have
one you took
pictures,
photos
yeah.
of? Yeah.
Yeah, my son,
Wow.
my son was in the basement, and my phone was in the basement. And I was yelling at my son, "Go get my phone, go!" And I didn't want to leave really. It was just, when you see 20 UFOs flying around in front of you, you just don't want to not look. So
Yeah, no shit.
I told my son, "Go get my phone," and he went down one time and came back. And they started disappearing by then, and there was like 5 left floating around. And then I was like, "Dude, it's in the basement. It's on the table down there. Go get my phone right now." And he ran down there, and when he came back, finally, there was maybe 1 or 2 left, and so we got a shot of one of them, and you can clearly see, there's it's tilted towards you in the picture like this almost. It's not like this, it's like this, and you can clearly see above the trees the 3 lights, in each corner of it, and it's just one, in the shot.
And then there was like a helicopter, like a legitimate helicopter following it, wasn't there?
Flying around above them, the whole time, watching them, they were definitely, it was flying around above them. And small compared to them too, like little tiny helicopters seem like up there, and then these big old things flying around everywhere in the sky until they just disappeared, and then the heli took off after a while. Other people in the neighborhood saw them. This other lady in the neighborhood saw them. I got to talk to her a little bit on the internet. She was scared, actually. She got pictures too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I lost contact with her though, but it's been that long ago. But yeah, anyway, that's my UFO story. So now there's this whistleblower guy, he's come forward, and now he's saying he basically he's admitted, that the government has had UFOs, and And he's also come forward and said that we, had these bases, and they have a department, and they go out and they pick up the wrecked UFOs, and they've been doing it for years, and they've been backwards engineering everything, and they've been lying to us the whole time. And this guy's an actual government agent, and he's coming forward saying this stuff. And one thing he
He's
said was that people died too, that they were malevolent and that they're not friendly. Go ahead.
He's a former Air Force officer. I had the video of him. Now, what's interesting too is he went to CNN. CNN said no. He went to Fox News. Fox News said no on the article. He had to go to News Nation to say this. And I had the video here of his interview. It's a 5-minute long video. Do you want me to pull it up, or
we could watch a little bit of it? Yeah, and everybody
Okay.
can see who he is. Yeah, it's interesting. At some point, though, he asks him, well, what about this or this? And the guy goes, well, that's a government secret. I can't really tell you that. That's a government, a national security issue. I couldn't tell you that. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy is not a whistleblower. Look on the screen right there. They're calling him a whistleblower. This dude is not a whistleblower. A whistleblower is Edward Snowden, or someone who is going to completely expose everything. That tells me this fucking piece of shit right here, excuse my language, is a paid government pigeon who's put there for God knows what reasons. But, one reason that comes to mind to me is to maybe ease to us the fact that they've been lying to us all these years.
disinformation agent?
Dude, I don't know. He's not a whistleblower. Whistleblowers leave the country, like Corey Hill said. Yeah, whistleblowers will die. This guy has everything he said approved by the government before he said it. Trust me. So that's my opinion of this dude. And this announcer guy is just loving him like he just wants to go over and kiss him. But anyway, go ahead.
Sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation on the bombshell whistleblower complaint filed with Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. According to the complaint, in July 2021, Mr. Grush confidentially provided UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena related classified information, to the Department of Defense Inspector General. At that time, Mr. Grush communicated classified information about the improper withholding and or concealment of classified material from the U.S. Congress by certain IC elements. News Nation has confirmed Grush's credentials, but he says he can't show us the proof of the alien craft for national security reasons. In a somewhat frightening revelation, Grush claims the non-human species may not be friendly.
I've been told that there have been attempts to bring down craft, that we've acted offensively against non-human craft.
Okay, pause this.
There have been.
Is this a good idea for us to just okay, is the government going to come in and, okay, first thing we see is some incredible spaceship that's from another planet, some higher form of intelligence that's possibly traveled here through some kind of time travel, maybe even, or some kind of interdimensional travel that we can't even conceive, and we're going to just fire a missile at them. All right, fire! I don't know. Is that a good idea? All right, go ahead. You can unpause it. Sorry.
Instances, and there are certain techniques.
Have human beings been hurt or killed by
Listen
a
to this.
non-human intelligence?
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain
Because I'm
U.S.
not a
classified
whistleblower.
operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
Grush says he has to be careful about providing detail. He shared this letter with us from the Department of Defense, giving him permission to do the interview with News Nation. It says the interview questions are
that?
approved for
He
public.
just
Yeah.
got every statement that he said there approved before he said
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
public
He's not a whistleblower. He's approved.
he's an information officer.
Yeah.
So isn't that funny how, look how the news can twist stuff like that and call him this whistleblower. That's bullshit.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of an emergency phone call I got to take. I'm not going to be able to be on much longer. So I got to. My parents are broke down at the side of the highway. I go help them out and all that. So.
Oh yeah, go take care of them. You're fine, buddy.
All right. Do you want me to send this link to Kluge so he can continue playing it for you, or
No, that dude's not a whistleblower. We don't need to see that garbage.
We're done. We're done with that guy. But he claims that we've been holding aliens and that they are
we already know they've got aliens and shit. They're just hiding
a
it from
lot of
us.
stuff we really knew already. You're right. And that's what makes you go, oh, okay. The government's confirming pretty much what we knew already. They're letting that guy come out and kind of confirm, okay, you guys are right. But that's all they're giving us, And I keep going back to the reason why they have lied to us all this time, and it's because this means life-changing things. It means, if these people, the main number one thing it means is if these, not people, but beings, have figured out interdimensional travel or time travel, if that's what it is. Maybe they're time traveling to get here somehow, coming back in time, and who knows? And they're able to move along our timeline and jump in wherever they want, or who knows what, but whatever. If we figure out that technology and we're privy to it, and the whole world was privy to it, then we would need gas and fossil fuel, and we would need all of this, it's free energy. What that means alone is just incredible. Free energy, people wouldn't be fighting. It'd be, there's just so much to it. And plus it also means, probably, all that we should have been sharing in this technology these past 50 years, since the 40s when they wrecked, or, we should have been sharing it, and everybody should have, learned about how it works, this technology, and we could have become more enlightened beings. We would all become smarter.
We could have had free energy.
We'd have free energy. Yeah, well, we'd have probably all of Tesla's, knowledge. It'd be, we'd be able to utilize.
And then the Trumps. Sorry, Trump. They went in and took all of his ideas. So.
Yeah.
It also means, if the aliens were real, it also means religion might not be so true. It might, who knows?
Religion is not true.
It could mean, that's a pretty big deal. That's big money when you say, oh, well, yeah, this isn't the actual story. The actual story is aliens were here a little bit, couple thousand years before the Egyptians, and they've been coming back here. And then, well, first they came and, found some kind of little primates of some kind, and they just tweaked us into these little animals, and they made us these slaves of gold on the moon and on Mars and places like that. And we burnt them all out. And then they kept coming back and messing with our alien DNA and with these little creatures, and they made us better and better and better. And, and they're still coming back messing with us now. They come back and kidnap.
You wouldn't see all these little hieroglyphs and shit with all the little alien fucking symbols on them.
Hey, those aren't just, those people weren't stupid. Those are good drawings. Those people were amazing artists.
But you wouldn't even see the little alien references in the Bible and shit.
Well, guys, I gotta go. Unfortunately, I've been waiting to say goodbye to everybody. So have a good show.
Sorry, Tyler. Have a good night, buddy.
Have a good night.
Get the hell out of here.
Let's go later.
Your mom and dad, dude.
All right, later, y'all.
See ya. If
I kicked him out.
There you go. Go save your mom and dad. Come on now.
Don't forget to put your yellow jacket on.
Right.
Road crew, bitch.
So, what's the chat room have to say about all this?
Well, let's see.
Even in all those damn paintings and shit that Leonardo da Vinci did with the aliens in the background and shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. So,
Fuck,
it would just change so much, man. Yeah, grab a beer. it's life changing, man. You know, it would kind of think about this, April. It would make all of our little, stupid issues and problems like whether you should vote Democrat or Republican or whether, we're at war on this planet with each other right now. For
Yep.
God's sake, we're fighting each other,
All the
like
time.
some idiots. I mean, it makes things like that maybe seem a little small, doesn't it? If aliens were really real, and that's all we're hearing about lately on the regular news. And you want to believe it too, but you know, one thing that Bigfoot Joe pointed out to me, is we still, because okay, I'm not a Bigfoot believer. I used to
Oh
be.
yeah.
I used to be, right? And when I was a child growing up, and as I grew up and and became a grown man and had years of experience, of not experience, but really of investigating, and I'm pretty. I don't think there's any real Bigfoots. I hate to say that, everybody, but my friend Joe in the chat room, he's a big Bigfoot lover, and in fact he's made um, two Bigfoot documentary films.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe in the chat room, Joe Turi, and if he's what's Joe, if you're listening, can you throw up the name to one of your movies? He's made one that looks super cool. It's about Bigfoot here locally. It's a documentary, so people around here would probably love it. So if you're listening, Joe, plug that, will you? Maybe put up a link even where they can buy it. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Because I think you can get it on Amazon and stuff.
Okay. If he's not, I'll just look it up.
Yeah. So anyway, Joe points out to me when I tell him, Joe, we don't have any evidence really. That's my hardcorest thing that I have a problem with Bigfoot is, and he tells me the same thing about aliens. Well, Rob, you show me some physical evidence of aliens. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Right.
So I don't think we're like there yet, where, I don't think the aliens are here yet, unfortunately. As exciting as it all seems lately and all over the news and stuff, we have to be realistic about this. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I kind of wonder if they visited before we had means to document it.
Yeah.
And back,
Well, it's like everybody says about, the Egyptians and the drawings they did.
Yeah.
And, those are, we're
Have
going back.
Have you heard the jar on the bookshelf theory thing?
What's that?
Where we're just like an aliens kid science experiment.
We could very well be. Yep. We could very well be. So what else? Was there anything big going on in the news or anything?
Not that I've seen, but I've kind of not kept up on it. I know that we were going to also talk about the Mandela effect and glitches in the Matrix.
All right, that's true. I was going to talk about just what that is, and
yeah. Well, here comes the doctor.
And if and maybe give you guys a little Mandela effect test.
To
see if maybe you've been affected by it. Do you know what it is?
Where we think it's one thing, but it's really another. Like we swear up and down that we remember it.
Right. Do you know what the Mandela effect is, Dr. Sage?
You're fucking right, I do.
So,
sorry about that belch, but I just had a hell of a pickle shot.
So, do you know, the origins of it and why and what it, what the deal is with actually Nelson Mandela?
Nelson Mandela should have died in prison in 1988, I believe it was.
Yeah, so let's ask April what she remembers about Nelson Mandela. Do you know who he is or remember him, April?
Ish, and I heard that he died in prison. And
Okay,
apparently he
that's
didn't.
what you remember, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Because that's not what happened.
No, that
It's
mother
not.
did not die.
He did not die in the 80s in a prison. In fact, he passed away in 2013. Later on, people thought that he died in the 80s in prison. And so,
And that's exactly how I remember it too. Him dying in prison in the
Yeah.
80s.
so now, people have become shocked that this mass number of people can remember the same identical thing
No, bless
in
me. Just
such
say fuck you.
detail when it never even happened. How do all these people remember him dying in prison when it just didn't even happen? So
But it did happen. That's the fucked up thing, because there was even like newspapers and shit about it back in the day.
right. So, and if you one of the things that explains maybe why it happened is maybe that the universe. Okay, so this is the deal. It's definitely the universe possibly ended at some point, maybe in the 80s, maybe in the. I think the year was 2012. Was that right?
2012.
Okay,
Whenever
so
they
the
fucking
world
turned on that
actually
goddamn.
they turned on the CERN generator in the Swiss mountains over there or whatever in Switzerland, and that they accidentally created a second, possibly alternate universe that you might be living in right now, or you might not. You might still be going in the other universe, possibly. Two different universal timelines. So, and in this timeline, Nelson
Yes.
Mandela died in 2013. And there's other weird things like
Curious George doesn't have a tail anymore.
Curious George's tail is gone now. Do you remember him having a tail, April, or not?
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask April some questions. Since you know about it, Dr. Sage, you're not as eligible as she is for the questions because you probably know the answer to a lot of them already. But you can help me though.
Oh,
Do you
Lord.
remember a movie with the actor Sinbad in the 90s? You remember Sinbad, right?
I
And
love Sinbad.
okay, do you remember his movie called Shazam?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
Oh wow.
okay, that's good. So you're not from that universe because some people remember a movie called Shazam where he was a
He played a genie.
Yeah.
genie in it.
See, I know the one with Shaq, but not the
Right?
one with
That's
not the
this
one with
universe.
Sinbad.
That's right. And if you talk to Sinbad himself, he'll tell you that movie didn't happen. That movie did not happen. But there's
But it
people who
actually
say,
did, and it was a
there's people who say they
Nickelodeon
have it
movie,
on VHS.
and the actual VHS is orange.
Really?
Sometimes you can find it as a black VHS,
That's
but
a glitch in the matrix right there.
I remember having the VHS and it was orange.
What?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had a couple Nickelodeon movies and their VHSs are orange.
That's amazing, Dr. Sage.
Yeah, I remember having that.
Orange.
That movie
Yeah.
did not exist. Okay.
But I remember having that VHS.
Do you remember Pikachu, the Pokemon character, as having? Do you remember? Did he have a black tipped tail?
Yeah.
Black.
No. Pikachu, the character, no.
And anybody in the room,
The
chat room, that
other
wants to get in on this
Pikachus,
too.
yes.
So in reality, the character has always had a solid yellow tail, no black tip, ever.
Yeah, not him, but there's other Pikachus, and I swear they have a black
Okay.
tip tail.
Okay. Shazam, and if you Google it, Shazam and Sinbad shows up on my Google search, but has no cover picture. I'll be damned. Yeah, the Hadron Collider. That's where, and that's who did it all. Fucked up everything for us. What else? Okay, this is a big one. April. What about Star Wars, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back? You remember Darth Vader? Whenever Luke looked up at him and was like screaming, and then when he told him, that he was his father, what did Darth Vader yell at him? The big famous line when he reached his hand out and he
Talking about
said,
for Luke, I am your father.
"Is that what you remember, Luke? I am your father."
It's
That's-
no, I am your father.
Yeah, that's right, Kluge. Let's see. He never said Luke, and I remember Luke, man.
Bullshit.
That's one thing that gets
On the
me.
VHS tapes that I had, I'm pretty fucking sure it says Luke,
Isn't
I
that
am
a
your
trip?
father.
What do you think about that one, Kluge?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I've watched.
I
it
wish I
many,
still
many times.
have. I wish I still had the old box set that I had of the VHS tapes, because I swear on the original cut it said the theatrical version. It said Luke, I am your father.
So
Vader asked Luke if Obi-Wan ever told him about his father, and he says he told me enough, told me that you killed him, and then Vader says, "No, I am your father."
no, I am your father. No, and he dives off. Yeah, crazy. Okay, next one. If you watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right? There's a train going by.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's awesome. Live in action. April, now you've watched Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and everybody in the chat room, right?
Yeah.
You probably all remember the line, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" So, it didn't say that at all. What it actually said was the phrase, "Magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" Do you remember? I remember "Mirror, mirror on the wall." It's playing
Yeah.
today in my head. But if you go back and watch it now, they've changed it, and it says, "Magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?"
Okay.
That's a freaky one.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
There's some controversy over the spelling of brands, and I'm
Hey,
not as
Virgil.
impressed by that.
Yes,
so much.
aliens really exist.
Virgil, do aliens really exist? First correct answer gets a date with Stormy Daniels.
I answered first.
Is that your answer? Yes.
Yes.
My answer is something exists. We may find out that the aliens are actually just us,
We still got the aliens crossing the border too.
except for the mean ones and the reptiles and stuff. But I think some of them are actually maybe just higher forms of us. That there's simpler forms of us. They don't have.
Yeah, Corey's got a good one right there.
I always remember it as the Berenstain Bears.
I think
Yeah, that's a big one, man. And now it's
It
to
was
do with
Berenstain Bears or
Yeah.
Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain.
children book series.
Berenstain.
Yeah.
Berenstain Bears is what I remember. It's not meant.
We all remember them books.
Even
it's
this,
not
our
what they say it is.
childhood,
It's not.
book is not immune to the Mandela.
The other one that fucks me up is the Monopoly Man.
That he never had the monocle.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, and
Mr. Peanut had the monocle.
Well, yeah, we know that, but I mean, Mr. Monopoly had a monocle.
the spelling of Oscar Mayer wieners. Some people remember the brand spelled Meyer instead of Mayer. I remember Mayer personally.
You won the date, Doc. Fuck yeah. Come here,
Damn.
Stormy.
Irene said she believes. I believe for sure if Irene does. I believe
You
whatever
seen
Irene believes.
you seen the thing about the Hanes underwear
Yeah.
where it used to have that fucking
The cornucopia.
the cornucopia thing.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Now it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone now, and they're saying it never existed.
And it
That's
was never
bullshit.
there.
It was
There's-
there before.
There's things with brands like Kit Kats. Did it have a dash in the middle or not?
Yeah, it did.
And I
Yeah.
guess it, and I don't think it ever did, but people say that it did.
No, it did.
But if you look now, it's not there. But things change, though, so that's not quite as impressive to me. But it's weird when it happens. But then they'll say that you're wrong, and then it wasn't like that before. And that's where it gets weird. But so that's and glitches in the matrix happen. People, you seen those videos of the planes just freezing in the sky.
Yeah, that's fucked up weird shit.
That's
And
some
I
pretty
think it
wild
all
stuff.
happened whenever they turned on that CERN bullshit.
Yep, all of a sudden, just like
2012 was a fucked up year.
something else that people think happened during that year was that they released dark energy into the world. They released dark matter accidentally into the world. And dark matter, the way that it can affect people is that it releases their inhibitations to where they'll do crazy shit like kill babies and eat each other's faces and go out and those people in Florida go out and eat each other and all of a sudden women are killing their kids and all this crazy stuff like that started happening around then. If you think about it, really intense, crazy shit like that, like people in Florida, the zombies eating each other's faces, and
Well, that's when bath
on
salts
the
were starting to come out.
salts and but when the
And
all
that
the
fake
women in
weed,
the
what was that
news
called?
killing their children, and
K2,
just,
yeah.
just people doing things that they lost their inhibitions, and they'll do any fucking thing. That's what they say that it does to you, dark matter, and that year they released a bunch of it into the world. So I don't know. That's another thing.
K2 and bath salts.
So anyway, thanks a lot, CERN.
Yeah, no shit.
You ever see the weird dances they do
CERN
before they start that thing?
Hydron collider.
They do these little weird cult dances in these white dresses, and they all, do this little satanic thing before they turn it on. Yeah, it's freaky shit. Man. They all worship that goddess that you can see when you take DMT. The goddess with a bunch of arms, whatever her name is.
Woo! We got fireworks going on.
They worship that goddess, and they all dance around in this satanic ceremony before they start that thing up. Why are they doing that? Does anybody answer that for me? That's some weird shit. You ever see the guy that runs that? There's a documentary about him. You should check it out sometime. And the guy's just like some nerdy hippie. You can't believe that this dude is really in charge of running this thing that like could destroy the whole planet. And he's just like, yeah, man, running this, man, it's cool. I don't know. The guy running it was scary. But what are they doing anyway? Doing that little Satan dance before they rock that thing. That always freaked me out. It's similar to the little dance that they do in the woods in Northern California, when their little ceremony they do out there. What's it called? The Bohemian Grove ceremonies, where they all dress up in satanic robes and dance around in the woods. Yeah, similar to that. So anyway, anything anybody wants to cover in the chat room before we go? That was kind of the last thing we said we were going to do tonight, was just a free for all. Go over maybe some of the comments in the room and make sure that we didn't miss anybody. And also, if anybody's got any ideas for next week's show, subjects that you'd like for us to cover, or or if you want to provide us with information for us to cover, feel free to send it to any of us on the show, or send it to the Weird Frequencies, message thing, and we'll be sure to get it to the right people for sure. Me or Kluge or somebody will get it to the right people.
Yeah.
And
They have a particle accelerator at Oak Ridge in Tennessee. The
do
fuck?
they really? In Tennessee, they got
That's
one?
what's being said in the chat.
You never hear about that, do you?
Why in the hell would they need a particle accelerator in Oak Ridge,
Wow.
Tennessee?
So Virgil, he said the first correct answer gets a date, if aliens exist or not. So you're just saying that the correct answer, basically? Is that you're just the final answer there? Is that the deal?
Wait.
Just wondering. Do aliens watch movies about us? Go ahead, April. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I think that meant to say I dated a podcaster who is friends with a guy whose job is to kill what comes through that portal in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
I believe it, man. I mean, they've seen monsters and all kinds of crazy things come out of that. And even, the dark matter thing and so the creatures associated with that are trippy, man, that they've seen come out of that thing. God knows what they've been doing with that thing, man. It's only,
Only a matter of time before
I don't know how we
looking
let
at
them just
Stranger
continue
Things.
to do it. I think we should go over there and blow that whole thing up. I think we should just drop a
The funny thing about Stranger
Boom.
Things is that's actually based off of a lot of reality too.
Oh yeah,
I believe
The
it.
TV show Stranger Things.
yeah. My sons love that show. I never watched it, man. They watched
You
every
should.
episode.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll probably go back and watch it someday. It seemed like a teenage thing, so that's why I didn't really watch it.
No,
I guess
it's
but
good.
It's actually a pretty good show, and like you can visit some of the actual places where it was filmed.
Oh, really?
And I know in Indiana, there's actually like some of the places that they talk about in the show that links up perfectly with the show. Like you can go and like follow in Indiana where like the show talks about those certain places link up perfectly.
Wow.
It's it's crazy, and there's like old abandoned places that just like fucking link up, and it's just like old military bases and shit.
Irene watched it. She said she watched it, but yeah, it's weird.
Oh, it's definitely weird.
Well, this show's a little weird. Dun, dun, weird frequencies. We were gonna have weird music on here, like play a weird song every week. That was kind of part of the show. It was gonna be, but then we're like, well, we can't do that because we'll break like laws, and Facebook will get mad at us and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that sucks. We can't do that every week. So we just replaced that with we replaced the weird song of the week with "What's April Smoking." So there you go. Irene says I'm here for the weird. Right on. Yeah. So definitely, if you got some stories, you guys, to talk about next week. I had a couple other things to cover. Ooh, that looks pretty. I could smell that from my screen. Whew, sticky.
That fucked Tyler up last Friday, right, Sage?
Yeah, it's Tyler a lightweight.
Holy shit.
That poor boy broke a sweat.
He broke a sweat, and he was like,
when he started sweating. Woo, shit. Oh, Lord. Woo, man,
he didn't wake up until I started beating the shit out of him with a kendo stick.
Yeah.
Jimmy. There's my buddy Jimmy from California. What's up, James? How are you?
That's what it took to bring Tyler off that cloud.
Yes. Corey said, send me a friend's request. I'll send you stories. Right on. Yeah, for sure. Tyler said, yeah, he is a lightweight. See, he was like, Oh,
There's
no.
Tyler.
What'd you give me, April? What's in that stuff, man? That's
Pretty
some crazy
much.
shit, man. I'm gonna die now.
He was like, I thought I was gonna have to tell you I'll take me to the hospital.
Yeah, see, I told you. I'm
I
having
was
a
like,
heart
bro,
attack. Oh
I
shit!
smoke this shit multiple
Oh,
times a day.
what'd you put in that shit, man?
He only hit the blunt like what, 3 times?
It was like 3 or 4, maybe
Yeah.
just 3. But I mean, dude got so wasted so fucking fast.
Hilarious.
He was zombified. And
No,
like
no, Corey. It was none
trying
of
to
that.
get him to stand up and arch his back the right way so she could
Tyler
fucking
can't
whip
arch his
him.
back, just so y'all know.
He cannot arch his back. And then I
It was
needed him
100%
to
sticky
fucking
icky.
arch a different way so I could do the kendo stick shot. And then we totally fucking tricked him. And she was taking a picture. And I was like, hold on, Tyler, I need you to hold still so I can take a picture. My phone was on the table. And I had him pull keep his fucking tank top up, or his wife beater, whatever the hell you want to call it.
The Tyler
I was
getting
like-
beaten here.
I was like, I'm trying to get a picture. Hold up. And I whacked him good with a kendo stick again for no reason on a bare back.
And we did that to raise money for Wrestling for a Cure, y'all.
Yes, we did.
Raise money to beat
And
Tyler's ass.
What was our total? We raised like what?
$200 total.
$200.
Yeah.
We
just to
we
beat
didn't
Tyler's
raise
ass.
as much as the softball tournament or the
No.
home run
but
derby, but we still did all right.
That's cool, man. What you guys are doing, you know, for charity. That's amazing.
It's all for the kids.
What's plug your show? What's going? Tell everybody when your show's on this week, and what times and stuff.
Wednesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. If you guys can check out April and Dr. Sage on
And
Best
Kluge.
Damn Podcast and Kluge. Yes.
Yes, we are. We're just some of the Best Damn podcasts. Come see the
Yeah. We
president.
still got Tyler. We got 420. We got Jason Wilhite. We got Tim O'Givo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got a whole crew up in that bitch. And
Nice.
apparently, from what I was reading earlier, we got a new challenge ahead of us soon.
Oh my goodness. So yes. So Rob,
Oh,
if you go to our Facebook page, Givens posted a video
Yeah.
where he's creating a challenge, a wheel challenge, where we're going to once again raise more money for Wrestling for a Cure. 100% of the proceeds goes to St. Jude's. St. Jude's. Is
Oh,
wonderful
cool.
charity. But we need
is this
ideas.
called the Wheel of Fire?
Well, so that's one thing that there's a whole post. We need ideas. We need ideas for a name for this. And then people get to help put what's on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh shit!
head
Nice.
over to the Best Damn Podcast and figure it out with us.
So, and you guys have a web address, right? Is it the bestdampodcast.com or is it all on Facebook to catch it?
It's all on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay. All right. Cool. So just make sure you search out the Best Damn Podcast, or we'll make sure we put links up on the word frequencies all over the place too to the Best Damn Podcast. We'll even put it in the chat room right now. Somebody can put it in there. That'd be great. Everybody could go friend up right now. Actually, that'd be super cool. Well, that's Weird Frequencies for the night, you guys. Sorry, a lot of you guys are coming in late, but we kind of wrapped it up. You know, we learned tonight that witches haunt bridges out at Witches Bridge. I went there with Tyler and had a good time doing that. It was my first ghost hunt, and it was super scary. And I got a picture maybe of a possible weird apparition that I'm going to post, and we'll maybe talk about that next week. And also, they're gonna review footage that they took because they were filming the bridge for like a long time, and they were doing EVPs, and so hopefully next week we'll have some actual footage of that will play on the show. So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And we got some footage coming from E-Ted and his EVPs, hopefully. So that's going to be a big old EVP show. So that'll be cool. And we learned a little bit about some of the conspiracies behind the Titanic submersible accident this week. And, was it just a big ploy to divert our attention from Biden's son's, activities and him sliding by, what's up with that? They just slapped him on his little hand. Oh, there's no laptop. Go ahead, Hunter, and do whatever you need. And we learned about the whistleblower that,
Isn't a whistleblower
don't take so much to, them calling him a damn whistleblower because
approved by the government?
yeah, he's more like a
What
spoke
the
his
hell?
mouth
Had
or
the
a
official.
tool. So, if anything, we debunked the whistleblower tonight on the show, and I think that was a big thing that we accomplished. So,
Yep.
there you go. And thanks for your help, you guys, very much. And thanks for popping on the show. Drink one for me, Dr. Sage. Smoke one for me.
Will
April.
do.
Gotcha.
And I'll do both right now that the show's over. So, thanks again. And not that I wouldn't smoke or drink during the show. I just was too busy, yeah.
Just too busy running shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But producer Kluge, thank you so much for your help always, man.
No
You
problem.
always are amazing. You are the man. Thank you so much. You make everybody professional in this place. So appreciate that. So even goofy asses like us. So
Wait, who's professional?
right. Thank you. I'm barely, barely professional. I'm trying to hold everybody together. So, but thanks for listening, everybody. Jimmy, shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Eric, to my good friends from childhood listening, which is super cool, man. And super cool. And shout out to all the listeners, everybody in the chat room. And we appreciate your comments. And like I said, Irene, Corey, Virgil, Tommy, everybody who's listening, making comments. If you send us any kind of information, we will look into. We promise. Whether you send it to April or Dr. Sage,
Yep.
or we'll look into it and we'll talk about it on the show and bring it up. So there you go. We want to do subjects that you guys are interested in. And we got a lot of stuff coming next week. So I had a lot of cool, like trippy news clips and things like that I was going to play, but it's getting late. So we'll call it a night. I think we did good. You guys have a good night. Anything else you guys you want to throw in there?
No. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks again. We'll see you guys. Have a
Stay
good
out
night.
of the crosshairs of the Illuminati.
There you go.
Stay
That's right.
weird.
Stay safe, everybody. Hopefully no men in black come to your door knocking. It's kind of dark and scary there, Dr. Sage.
It's the way I like it.